Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rob Sutton. So Apple just released all of their M2 MacBook Pros and everyone's in pretty much agreement. If you're doing anything but gaming, these might be some of the fastest laptops that have ever been released. Now there has been some argument on whether the base MacBook Pro is any better than the MacBook Air, which is just several $100s cheaper, and whether or not it really deserves the Pro moniker. And Apple has a history of doing this with their laptops. However, I happen to own probably the worst example of Apple ever doing that. And here it is. Say hi to my i5 MacBook Pro from 2017. And this is a pretty special computer in a lot of really bad ways. So as you'll see from the outside, it doesn't look all that different from a MacBook Pro that you see out there now. While my M2 Max might be a little bit thicker, the aluminum chassis, keyboard design, and everything else looks pretty much the same. However, this is anything but a pro computer, and it wasn't even when it was released. So this i5 MacBook Pro has a bunch of features that definitely make it qualify for the worst pro laptop that Apple's ever produced. First off, it's an i5 processor. There's no discrete graphics. It's only the integrated Intel, which has 1,536 megabytes of memory. Then add to that, this is about that time that Apple decided, hey, you don't need any ports, SD card readers, none of that. What we're going to do is give you 2 Thunderbolt ports and 1 headphone jack, and you're gonna be happy with it, which started the entire Apple dongle controversy. And then to make matters even worse, I've got the infamous butterfly keyboard that basically failed on most of the laptops to begin with, not to mention the fact it had the worst touch out of any keyboard ever put in a laptop, period. So I thought it would be fun to stack this laptop up against my iPad Air and the brand new M2 Max that you see sitting behind me. And here's what we came up with. Alright guys, so the beginning of this video doesn't have any effects on it until we get to that secondary clip that actually has a transition as well. But as I start this, you're going to notice we're only getting 7 frames a second, maybe, on just playing back a 4K clip. Let's take a look. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rob Sutton. We're back here with another review today. So one of the most overlooked items in any office or home office is the desk chair, which is kind of ironic because it's where you spend basically all of your time. So today we're going to look at this Air Glide from Motion Gray and see if it'll work out in your office. So let's get at it. So before we get into what I liked and disliked about this chair, let's talk about the assembly process and how you can actually adjust this chair to fit your needs. So the unboxing process and assembly is really simple. So when I said stop here, you could see it was stuck back in the transition that was actually here before the intro. So basically unusable if you're wanting to edit any kind of video that's probably above 1080p and has any kind of effects on it whatsoever. So as you can see, this laptop is pretty much worthless. And of course, from 2017 till now, you would expect a laptop to be a lot slower. However, this wasn't even fast when it was released. And the fans will not stop coming on, even with light browsing within Google Chrome. I mean, you do have to keep it in perspective though that we were not using 4K footage as much back then as we are now. So I firsthand know what it feels like to buy a MacBook Pro and actually get something that's not even close to that because of the spec. I really feel like Apple should reserve those specs just for the Air and other MacBook lineups instead of putting a Pro name on something they obviously know is not a Pro computer. Although it is kind of ironic and funny to watch that they do it year after year, and what they're basically doing is repackaging one of their cheaper computers and making a couple more $100s off of it when you're not getting any increase in performance or value. But you do get to walk around with something with the name Pro on it when in reality you really just have a baseline laptop in a different case. And while the iPads are really impressive these days, especially the Pro models, my iPad Air outperforms a laptop that has the name Pro on it that's really not as old as it should be. So that's just something to think about. That said, these new M2 Max processors that they have put in these new MacBook Pros are insanely fast. It's almost outperforming my 5900X Tower over here that has a GTX 3070 in it. Especially for export renders with those new chips, it is vastly faster than that computer is, where I'm getting 120 frames a second export versus 60. It is pretty impressive. I'm getting that out of a laptop that I can actually carry around with me and actually deserves the Pro name. So guys, I want to hear what you think. Should Apple keep on doing this like they have in the years past, or should they start to just drop that bottom of the lineup and conserve that for the Air and other lineups where they don't have the Pro name attached to it without the Pro performance? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to Rob Sutton for more videos like this in the future. And until then, on to the next one. Thanks guys, see ya.